Watch the details. Now, you hear people saying that nowadays. Have you heard that recently? The devil is in the details. The truth is in the details too. All right? So if you just learn the details on things, you know, once you learn something, you pass that on to somebody, but then you go and get some more. And never be ashamed. Never be ashamed about what you don't know.
Here we go again. What? You don't see them? The distractions. More distractions. Headlines flooding my news feed about the Pentagon canceling Black History Month celebrations. Like we didn't know with the present political climate that news reporters aren't rubbing their hands together ready to play games of manipulation like Sylvester the cat eyeing Tweety Bird. And people are in an uproar. But I'm here questioning, should we be this upset? And more importantly, are we focusing on the right fight? We have many divisions in our community. Political, lifestyle, the competition we have amongst ourselves, the list goes on. Distractions have been used for eons to play on our divisions that others exploit for their own gain. Our divisions are prime real estate to plunder, manipulate, and exploit us as Black people. And as my news feed keeps showing me, there's no shame in doing so, and politics are no different. When I actually read some of the articles with the headlines saying that the Pentagon was canceling Black History Month celebrations, I saw that the articles also mentioned that not only Black History Month won't be acknowledged, but other cultures and lifestyles won't be acknowledged either. But if I had just read the headlines, I would have been stewing, ready to snatch somebody up, ready to scream in anger at somebody's protest, because I would have seen it as a fight between us and those people against DEI. When in reality, that fight doesn't take care of the bigger issues in our community. And if we're honest, we know that there is a great chance that in reality, that fight may not benefit us in the ways that matter. Because after winning the fight, other groups will reap the benefits and we will be tossed aside like trash, putting us back at square one. Square one. That place where we are given every negative label and shown in every negative way to make it easier to continue to mistreat us, speak badly of us, exploit us, and manipulate us, allowing for the continuance of economic exploitation, in turn, keeping us at the bottom of society as a community. What if our governmental agencies were targeting Black Americans by refusing to hold celebration activities for Black History Month? Okay. Do we all of a sudden need the permission of our governmental agencies to acknowledge the accomplishments of our community? In my opinion, it's distractions like these that get us off focus of the more serious issues in our community. Distractions in this country affect our community via government policies such as mass incarceration. We are now in the year 2025, but we're still having to deal with the effects of the war on drugs from the 1980s and the tough on crime policies from the 1990s. I like merry-go-rounds as much as the next person, but this is ridiculous. These policies wreaked havoc in our already struggling communities by destroying families, contributing to even more poverty in our communities. Distractions in this country affect our community via media with the portrayal of Black stereotypes. Black Americans in media will have one thinking we're all athletes, entertainers, criminals, and or drug users because, we don't have scholars or doctors or scientists, teachers or innovators in our community. Those roles are only allowed for other groups. Businesses profit from our culture, but don't support our community in the ways that truly matter, especially economically. Do any of the sisters remember when all those natural hair products started flooding the market? Everyone and their mama was, and still is, creating and pushing products specifically for us. Like vultures circling in the opportunity to feast, companies swooped in, eager to profit from the natural hair movement, a movement that was supposed to empower us. But they were only doing it because they cared about us, right? Yeah, more like cared about how many of our dollars they could suck from us as long as they could to eventually toss us away like a used lemon. While they were making bank, how much real support was being offered back to the community. And it's not just external distractions. We also have to face the struggles within our own community. Being oppressed for as long as we have has led to a harmful level of competition. We have our generational trauma to deal with and the violence toward each other in some of our communities. We have the self-survival mindset that has us turning our noses up at each other with the attitude that says, I'm getting mine, you on your own, you better get yours. And not to mention that never-ending pool of scammers in our community who look like us and take advantage of our struggles with full intention of benefiting themselves. We can't catch a break. So the external and the internal distractions cause divisions in our communities, which have us fighting inside and outside forces. All of this fighting takes us off the real issues. And if that's not bad enough, we also often find ourselves coming up empty-handed more often than not with these fights. Okay, let me preface this section of the video with the statement that I am not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in any of this stuff. I'm just a Black American who has experienced firsthand the struggles and triumphs of so many in our community. The following is just my opinion, but there are a few things that I wish we would collectively focus on. Be on code for. And these aren't things we haven't heard before. One thing is policies that greatly affect our communities, such as mass incarceration and qualified immunity that is granted to police officers. Also, quality education in our public schools. Self-empowerment via economic betterment. And of course, we can't forget about reparations. It's long past time that the United States government take responsibility for the centuries of oppression and exploitation that Black Americans have endured. Reparations aren't just about a check. It's about justice, healing, and making sure that our community is finally given what it rightfully deserves. Every year we celebrate Black History Month by acknowledging the accomplishments of Black people and the contributions they have made to society. What could we accomplish if we collectively focused, came together to work together on what truly matters? What could we accomplish if we made efforts to acknowledge the past accomplishments of our people while cheering on the future accomplishments of members of our community? Is it possible for us to break free from these distractions? Well, I'm a dreamer. I believe that we can break free. The absolute first step I think anyone would agree with is attaining knowledge. Education is the most foundational way to empower ourselves, learning and teaching our own history of the contributions of Black Americans. And with things like critical race theory not being allowed to be taught in public schools, looks like no better time than the present to start this with intention and consistency. And not just teaching about the struggles and oppressions, which are very important, but also the triumphs and accomplishments to help instill that unmistakable Black pride and maintain that resilience that we are known for. And in attaining our knowledge, we can continue to learn about systemic racism and how it has affected our community in every area of our lives, historically and still to this day. And then, of course, in getting our knowledge, we take action, doing the things that, again, many of us have more than likely heard of. For instance, spending our Black dollars with Black businesses as much as possible. We can also do things like joining organizations that are genuinely working toward the issues that greatly affect our communities. Anything we can do, no matter how small, helps move us forward. We will need to resist distractions. One way to do that is through critical consumption of media. I have to admit, this is a hard one for me. These headlines are crafted in such a way that if I don't watch myself, I will get in my feelings, get off focus by being mad at the wrong stuff. When I read the headlines, I have to remember to be aware of where the news company reporting the news leans. Do they lean left or right politically? Because the article will be written with that skew. I have to remember to ask myself, what is the agenda of the news outlet reporting? It's important to not only consume mainstream news, but also trusted alternative news sources. I consume left and right-leaning news in an effort to fill in the missing pieces that both sides leave out. And I also consume alternative news sources. And just like in supporting Black businesses as much as possible, we can support independent journalism as much as possible. It's easy for politics, media, and businesses to do things to not only distract us, but divide us. It's apparent because they use these strategies on us all the time. They focus on our differences, and in my opinion, in some cases, make up differences that we hadn't seen as being a difference. But if we could focus on what's really important, which is what unites us, it would help move us closer to our collective goals. Also, refusing to internalize the negative stereotypes of Black people shown by the media. We could push news sources to report more of our positive stories. By staying focused, educating ourselves, supporting one another, and taking action, and doing these things with intention and consistency, I believe we can begin to break free from the distractions that keep us divided and powerless. I know that we have a lot of challenges in the Black community. Every Black American knows this. But this is why we seriously need unity in our community. Now more than ever, the divisions and struggles are crystal clear, and by uniting together, we can chip away at these struggles and empower ourselves in the process. We don't need permission to honor our culture, and we can't rise if we are divided. So, what can we do together to uplift our community? Drop your thoughts and ideas. Let's keep the conversation going, because the more we focus on what unites us, the closer we get to real change. And as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.